So, given that IBM was so heavily involved and had such efficient abilities of record keeping in every way, this brings into question this nonsense story that I think is total nonsense. And I'm going to explain why. Talk about a masquerade for sure. The incredible true story of how George Soros' father outsmarted the Gestapo. Yeah, I call bullshit. I'm just being straight, okay? Here's why. First of all, so Tivadar, that was his name. This was his memoirs. And this is Tivadar Soros. So, see, the thing is that the Soroses were living in Hungary, okay? At the time of the Holocaust. The thing is that Hungary government officials, they aligned with the SS. They aligned with the Nazis. Okay? And again, IBM was handling everything from employees' pay. This is why IBM doesn't want to open up their archives. They've said that many of them have been destroyed during that time. How convenient. So what you will find if you search enough is that, well, because I had thought that, because George Soros says that he had a godfather, that's what he referred to him as, because he was 13. And that I thought he made it sound like somebody got him out in time before going. But in the meantime, whoever he was with was confiscating all the Jews' belongings as they took them. Yeah, so the way that story is told is that this was just one venture that George Soros at 13 went out with, and it's a fish. They were government officials, so there was a couple of them. One of them was, I'm just going to say by his last name, Baumbach. He's referred to as a complex figure in the context of the Holocaust. While he is known for helping some Jewish individuals, including George Soros, there are also accounts that suggest he was involved in the persecution of the Jews during the same period. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of underground going on in Hungary because they aligned with the Nazis. You get what I'm saying? So, yet he was somebody with Department of Agriculture, and above him was an M. Horthy. This guy, or Miklos Horthy. And he was even higher. He was the regent of Hungary and was the head of state during this period. He implemented anti-Jewish laws and collaborated with Nazi Germany. Like Bachmann, acted against the prevailing policies. Yes, so that's why I'm not buying it. Because there's no other known accounts of these people. They've made these people into heroes. And no, I mean, how much was the Soroses behind much of the Holocaust is what I want to know. And maybe even the Pritzkers. Oh, I'm going out on a limb there, but not really. And this is Abram Pritzker, okay? Because, see, they were, where the Tivadar Soros was in close proximity to Ukraine, okay? And the Pritzker, they just happened to come to America right before everything took place, okay? And look at who JB is. And then look at who George Soros is. Not really a difference there, is there? No, there isn't. It ran through my mind, okay? Because, the Pritzkers brought us this kind of stuff. Again, the Pritzkers did, literally. The transgender stuff, that started with them. I mean, I've never thought that JB, he's not a friend to Illinois, let alone to America. Okay? He's just done what any, gluttonous fool would do, and he has his name, just like he lifts his leg all over every university and Millennial Park, and, talk about it, like everything to do the opposite of what America represents. Like Pritzker has to have his name on everything, okay? I'm not kidding. Really, he does. He's on the medicine department at University of Chicago or University of Illinois, Chicago, one of the two. He's on the law department at Northwestern. He's on all these different museums. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's totally like, too. It's like, just stop your nonsense. And then everything he supports is always hateful at America and Illinois. But I don't think any of these people, I don't look at the Soroses as good family stock, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I just don't. I don't look at the Pritzkers as good family stock. They seem to all have the same agenda. It never seems to be a very good one. And yet these are the people that escaped the Holocaust. And don't get me wrong here. I know there were underground stuff going on, getting some Jews and people out. However, in Hungary, there was very little of that going on because of the fact that the government, they aligned with the Nazis. And it just so happens that and they didn't get anybody out. That's the other thing. So George Soros' story is that, so he says his father, Tivadar Soros, again, this is Tivadar, that he wanted the Soros family to break up because there will be more chance of survival. Look, the Soroses were in with the government. He was a lawyer there. And the other reason the reason I went down this road altogether is I'm like, wait a minute, IBM is known for their strict accounting for people, okay? And so you really have to dig, and then you find out, so they had forged paperwork, okay? So, and yet it wasn't like just forged paperwork to get them out of the country. They stayed. The Soroses stayed in Hungary. They did. They all came. The ones that came here came later after the war. George Soros was there the whole time. You will see different accounts where he was hiding in some cupboard with this godfather, which was this Bachman, who was the Department of Agriculture. But then he says he went out with him one night when this guy was confiscating the Jew stuff. Why would he just take him out one night? That's the way they present it, is, oh, well, he just didn't want to leave him alone this one night. It's like, well, if you're hiding him. No, I don't think they were hiding. That's the story they've given everybody. I don't think they were hiding at all. I think they were in with the German government. They were in with the Nazis, and they were in with the Hungary government. Otherwise, I mean, it's one thing how did they manage to fly by the IBM and their documentation? Because their system didn't just, they did all the processing, not just for prisoners, but they did it for all the employees too. So all people at high levels were protecting them, not actual people. And since they stayed there, they certainly weren't afraid. He had connections. Tivadar Soros had connections. And George Soros has always been a liar. He always, look at everything he supports. He has supported the most hateful things against this country. He has for decades, at least 3 decades, my whole adult life. I mean, he just gets worse as time goes on. He's a lot of what the color revolution is. And I think they were very much some supporters of the Nazis, and then have turned it into they were saved people by these certain individuals that weren't saving. Because these people that saved the Soroses, you don't know about them saving anybody else, any other Jews. But yet, how can you be trying to save the Jews while you're persecuting them? They just made a special situation for George Soros. Come on. Or the Soros family. Yeah, none of them suffered. They stayed throughout the whole thing. He was in hiding somewhere else, supposedly. No, I think they were at the helm with the government and everything. And that is the reason IBM does not want to release their records, because they would have all of that. They would have all of that, which would expose all of these, well, let's just call them what they are, Satan's seeds.